Hello everyone, Daisy here again with another layout for Cardstock Warehouse. I'm super excited about this one. It's kind of a back to school type layout. It's that time of year, so of course everybody's in the mood for back to school. So the way I'm starting this out is I'm using some of the Pop Tone collection. It's Sweet Tooth. It's a white smooth cardstock. It's 100 pounds, so it's a really thick, sturdy paper, and it holds up amazing to mixed media. So I'm not doing a whole heavy amount of mixed media here. All I'm doing is I'm using some of these Vicky Bouton watercolors and just sprinkling it around on the background. But this paper is amazing. It holds up so well. I love the way it kind of absorbs the color into it, and it's a perfect less expensive alternative to some of the other mixed media papers that are out there. So if you're looking for something that can really hold its own against some water and some paint, then I highly recommend this cardstock. So I'm just using a bunch of different colors and sprinkling them around. I had cut out a bunch of letters from some various colors of cardstock, and so I'm using colors that match them and just leaving it here to dry. And I'm going to clean up a little bit. Sorry, I could have cut this out of my video and I didn't realize that I didn't. But the next step of what I'm going to do is play around with all of these letters I cut out. So if you're like me, you collect fonts. I love fonts. They're free everywhere. You can buy beautiful ones on like the Silhouette Design Store. I think I have a couple that are from the Cut Shop. I mean, you can get these fonts anywhere, and I collect them. I'm an avid collector of font, and I never use them. So I thought, what would be a good way to do a back to school layout using some of these letters? And I figured, let's do the alphabet. So I grabbed a ton of my scraps of cardstock. And there will be a list on the blog if you are looking for all of the colors, but I use a ton. So I know there's blue raspberry, there's sour apple, razzleberry, banana split, grapesicle, grape jelly, I think it's called lemon drop, wild cherry, the black licorice, and I think I might have listed all the colors. But again, if you want a list of the specific colors, they're all on the blog. That's on the Cardstock website, or the Cardstock Warehouse website. So there will be direct links to all of the different papers that I used there. So what I'm doing is I have this photo, and it is of my children before they were old enough to go to school, but they loved to play school. So they would constantly play school all the time. And then once my son got older and didn't want to play anymore, my middle daughter would then be the teacher for my younger daughter. And my younger daughter still loves to play school to this day and will make people play with her all the time. And so that's kind of what this layout is about. There's not a title because the alphabet, I just feel like it would have taken away from it, but I do quite a bit of journaling, which explains the story. And I just love how these the colors of all of these letters really pop off the page and just kind of stand out from the background. And all of these cardstocks cut beautifully on my Silhouette. I have a Silhouette portrait, and there are instructions on the best way to use your die cutting machines with the cardstock so that you get the right cut. And those are also found on the website. If you don't have a die cutting machine, you can still come up with a version of this by printing the fonts out on some paper and then using just some scissors or a craft knife and tracing over them and cutting them out of your cardstock. So if that's something, when I didn't have a die cutting machine, I was always looking for those little tips and tricks on how I could come up with these awesome, designs without having the machine. So I just adhered everything down using my EK Success Zig glue pen, and this is also sold in the shop and I absolutely love it, so I highly recommend it for all these little delicate die cut pieces. Really the only other thing I do is I add a couple of these Vicki Boutin enamel dots, and then I'm going to add my journaling around the outside of the page. Instead of doing a doodly border, I figured that was a great place for my journaling to go. And I'm just, you know, telling the story I already told you about how it's kind of a passer down game, playing school at our house. So I hope that you enjoy this layout. Head on over to the Cardstock Warehouse website. There will be a link down below and you can check out the blog where it has, you know, the details on what products I used. And I hope you enjoyed and have a great week. I will see you again next time. Bye!